Hi, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the GASOcast. I'm your host at GASO Lyndon, joined by at iFilm Hoopers, Michael Timmons, and GASO Blue, the Godfather, with his Houston Astros coming in second behind the AL West leading Texas Rangers. But that's
it's
enough.
Early.
That's enough baseball talk. Let's jump right into it. With the MVPs of the weekend. Blue, I'll let you start here because, I mean, we've talked a lot about Nazir Price in the office here, and he was doing his thing yet again in front of our staff this weekend.
Yeah, and we can let's start off by saying that it's May. You know, we had a long stretch in April here.
Hey, Blue, for the viewers, move your mic closer to you.
How's this?
Yeah, way better.
So, like I said, it's May. So now we're just, you know, we saw a lot of basketball, and here we are watching the top 2026 player at the GASO open period with Nazir Price. He just did his thing. You know, he was obviously really good in the open court. He was in transition. He's just so hard to stop when he has the ball. And whenever the guard play of Houston Hoops 16U EYBL team, they would push the ball. He was out there on the wing. He was just going to make something happen, and he did.
Facts.
And it wasn't always having to be the leading scorer in the championship game. He went to the free throw line plenty of times because he was just getting to the basket, and he's taking those bumps. He's taking those shots from Team Imperial and making free throws. So when you have a guy that can balance out there, not just scoring with open jump shots or making incredible athletic plays, but when you can take some bumps, take some bruises, be able to go sink him at the free throw line. I mean, that's just, he was showing his complete package.
Thanks.
Timmons, a guy who had a true MVP performance in the championship game against Jay Uno, Tucker Sheppard.
Yeah, Tucker Sheppard, Team Griffin Select came, and I've watched them for a little bit Friday. I'm like, oh, they have a good chance of winning their bracket, and you know, they did. In a high-level game, that game recaps on YouTube, but Tucker Sheppard, 7 threes. And just the quickest release you'll see from the 6'3", 6'4" guard. Didn't need any space to get his shot off. And he got hot early in that championship game, hit 3, and then Jay Uno started to make some adjustments. But then as soon as you fell back asleep, he hit 2 or 3 big clutch shots down the stretch. But, yeah, just one of the best, if not the best shooters in the GASO this weekend. Just a big-time performance by him. And, yeah, over and over again going through the film. Just knocking down 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. I don't think I saw him miss, but maybe 2 or 3 all weekend.
Yeah, it was really impressive. For me, I'm going with Camden Brock, a kid. You know, it's easy to count 3-pointers, and you know that's something we try to do whenever guys are making a big game for themselves, especially in a championship game. But counting and ones, where he had 5 in the second half, where every time he was seeking out contact with either hand. And finishing at the rim, really took over the game. Young Pro Global ended up winning that one in a tight game against Joe Little. But Camden Brock, I mean, and the proof's in the pudding because he picked up a Arkansas Pine Bluff offer yesterday off the back of his huge weekend because he was one of the best players that I saw, regardless of class, state, wherever.
Yeah.
Because he was just that good this weekend.
Yeah, and Blue also said that your personal cell phone has been blowing up about that kid as well.
Yes, and that I was just going to add. I mean, I'm not here to give away what was said to me, but there was plenty of college coaches calling specifically about him, and he the buzz just continues to travel throughout the state of Texas. Let's put it that way for him. So he'll be highly tracked moving forward.
For sure.
So yeah, this little new segment, I knew you were good, but dang, you impressed me, was just kind of something like, you know, going into our GASO weekend, there were some guys that we were interested to see, maybe hadn't got our eyes on as much. Who was that guy for you, Lyndon?
Jayden Leverett. I mean, I saw their regional semifinal game in Wichita Falls where he was really impressive just with his activity and length. I mean, 6'9" out of El Paso Chapin. Was all over the place, blocking shots. On the offensive glass. He's still polishing his way on the skill side of things, but as a shot maker, 15 foot and in, I think he's capable. And obviously his post presence was huge for Hardwork this weekend. They were very successful with their guards, but also the play of him and Ivan Dorn on the inside. Both of those guys were just really tough to contain on the block for Hardwork.
Blue.
Yeah, Avion Jackson. I've had to hear about him for the past couple of weeks from Mass,
Yeah.
and so just to sit there and really be able to concentrate and watch his game. And oh, by the way, he's an Atascocita kid, so David Martinez gets a hold of this kid, and he's going to just continue to get better. But he gets that ball off the rim or from an outlet pass, and he's looking up the court. He got great court vision, snaps the ball up the court to his open players. Then he can do some scoring from outside, go to the basket, defender. I mean, he the boxes that you need for the next level, this guy checks all of them, and he does it with a very aggressive style where he's going to be the best defender out there on the court. He's going to just work his butt off to get something done. And then offensively, he's just going to make the right, smart play with all of the tools that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, Roy Gardner, J Uno, Austin LBJ, long, lanky prospect. What I liked about him this weekend was his ability to just stay on balance. Found a lot of mismatches, finished through contact, showed a little nastiness and some toughness in that championship game versus Team Griffin. Just when you see, obviously, he has a frame where he can put on some more pounds, but he can work with that body already. Shoots well in the mid-range, finishes through traffic, like I said before. Just a very confident prospect with really good size to match that I'm excited to continue to see with that J Uno team.
For sure. So let's take a look at just passing around for some 2024s that we liked when we evaluated this week. Blue, Jayden Thomas, I saw him at our Houston event. You couldn't keep him off the rims. It was the same story this weekend.
Yeah, when you kind of look back and go to his junior year at Lake Travis, he didn't maybe assert himself as much as he is now. I feel like he feels like this is his team, this is his time. He has all the ability to go out and create for himself and for others. And his ability to slice through defenders and go finish. I'm talking about just coming through and he's like a rocket to the basket and stays above the rim. And so now you add that, because he was at Lake Travis and he's playing alongside other seniors. He's playing alongside Hudson Greer. That's going to be a pretty nasty 1-2 punch going into next year. But as for right now, wow, this guy's on the way up as far as just stock riser.
For sure. Timmons?
Yeah, for me, Jayden Jones for Joe Little. You talked about Camden. That was a high-level championship game with Joe Little versus Young Pro Global. The first thing that stuck out, I wasn't filming, but I was watching breakaway dunk. I was like, oh, he's a freak athlete. And then we start to film, and then he gets into the mid-range, and I'm a sucker for mid-range turnaround jumpers, cash. I'm like, okay, who is this kid? 6'4", athletic all over the place, skill to match athleticism. But, yeah, the Morton Ranch product looking big time out there for that Joe Little team. Yeah. Stood out for me.
And he was great in Houston.
He?
The second time that we've seen him be really good at a GASO.
Good.
Big, strong lower body guard.
Definitely. So I got two guys in the 2024s. Justin Kemp with Blade 17U. Went crazy from three in their semifinal game. Was just a kid who reads the game well. Knows how to get himself open. And anytime he got any airspace was knocking down shots. Similarly, Tyler Johnson with high IQ, the Denton Ryan point guard. I mean, this kid was just making the right move over and over and over. I mean, you look at him out there on the court and you're like, how is this dude dicing up this defense and getting to the rim over and over and finishing in traffic? I mean, was really impressed with both of those kids in the 2024 class this weekend.
Tyler Johnson, he's fun.
He is.
For sure.
He is. So on to some 2025s, Blue. Bryson Melvin had about as good of a weekend as you can at a GASO. He was everywhere.
An argument for possibly one of our MVPs as well.
Yeah. We talked about that, and I don't really know that he knows how good he can or will be. I mean, he's bringing the ball up as a floor general, as a point guard, and leading his team and passing the ball to give his guys open looks. But then you see him out there running the wing, and he's rebounding. He's getting the ball to the basket and finishing on the defensive end. He's closing out. He's causing havoc with his long body. He's strong. He's wide, and he's just one of those guys that where you kind of just scratch your head, going, okay, as everybody else is being talked about, he's just going to continue to grow in his ability because he has the ability, like I said, to pass, to score, to defend. He makes people around him better. And then as defenses start keying in on him, he's just sitting there picking apart a defense. And I think even for me, I mean, y'all can jump in here, is that, where's he going to be most valuable as a basketball player? He's just like a guard wing. Go give him the ball. Let him be kind of like a little bit of a playmaker with a very calm demeanor.
Yeah, what I really stood out was like you talk about, and it's not the flashy passes. It's I'm on the wing. I put a precise pass to the corner, shot ready for his teammates, and he was making those passes both hands. That really stood out. So like, it's not necessarily when he was playing point guard for them, but it wasn't just like the flashy plays. It was just the no nonsense plays that you need out of a lead guard. And at 6'5", and he's shooting over the top of defenders from the mid range, from the three. A lot of things you like about the kid.
Yeah, for sure. For me, Bradyn Alward, a Byron Nelson kid, but his ability to get into that mid-range, I mean, he's hitting fadeaways, he's catching it at the elbow, jab step, one dribble, pull up. Was really impressed with what he was able to do. He hits the offensive glass. He's just kind of one of those kids who every time he's out there for BeastUp, he was just really productive. Probably scored like 18 points a game this weekend, something like that, because he was every time you looked up, it was 18, 22, 16, all over the place, and had a really good weekend. And his stock's definitely a guy that we're going to continue to monitor this summer.
Yeah, for me, Nwakamma, Dallas Mustangs, 16U. They ran a lot of stuff for him. They would get the ball to him in the post, and very quickly defenses realized, I have to send a double. And what I liked about him is if you sent a weak double, he was able, with his good footwork, to get into the paint, get the ball on the rim multiple times. And even when they weren't running stuff for him, obviously he was their guy most of the weekend, but, he's crashing the glass hard, just causing havoc, a lot of junkyard dog stuff. Liked what he did from the mid-range. Just a prospect to keep your eye on at 6'8", unlimited motor, with footwork and skill to match, that you can literally throw the ball to in the post and he can go get it for you.
Yeah.
And shout out to the Dallas Mustangs guards who were willing to put the ball inside for him.
Was good this weekend.
For him to go score, to make something happen.
Yeah, one of the better teams that I've seen throw post entries as well. Definitely. So that's credibility to the coaching staff there, because it's honestly a lost art.
It really, as a former post, believe me, it's frustrating. But let's talk about some freshmen, some 2026s. It's always a great experience for us as evaluators, seeing these kids kind of announce themselves at this level at a GASO. And Chris Gooden with Hardwork Blue. I mean, the speed that he plays with as a freshman, I mean, wow.
Yeah. Booman has himself a group down there in that 2026 Texas Hardwork. And there's also a lot of Judson kids on, kind of scattered throughout that program, where
proud alumni.
Maybe they'll make a little run here next year. But looking at over the weekend, Christopher Gooden, like you said, the speed, his quickness, the ability to handle, one-man press break, and to get the ball to his bigs. Getting the ball to the bigs, finding the open shots for his teammates. I mean, it's when you're at that young of an age and you're playing also up against 17Us and you're going into battle with a lot of confidence. I mean, that's kind of what he brings. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing him even more in San Antonio. Especially this group. This group is very talented for San Antonio.
Yeah, for me, Silas Rodriguez, Houston Hoops, has been a name mentioned with our GASO Next Gen platform. The one thing that stood out was at a young age, we were to see the game slowing down for him. And I think that's a product of him playing a lot of high-level basketball, even going back to high school season with Denton Geyer playing alongside Jordan Lowry and Jeremiah Green. If he is playing lead guard, we know he can put the ball in the basket. And now you bring the twins over from Grapevine that played with him this weekend. He's picking his spots, knowing how to get his, but also facilitate. He's always been so efficient and crafty in transition. But just you can see that maturity start to step in. And it's weird to discuss maturity from a 15U prospect, but that's just, like I said, credit to him being in high-level situations, high-level games, to where now you can start to see that decision-making kind of take that next step.
Definitely. Seemed like he was taking high-percentage shots all weekend. I was really impressed with that. A couple more San Antonio kids that I really liked. For FOA Red, Jamail, Garland, and Maurice Eddy. And these two kids just popped against A.J. Boye's 2025 group. I mean, they're playing up a year. And Jamail's just one of those kids who, when he makes a beeline to the rim, very tough to stop. Was able to knock down some huge shots for them over the weekend too. And then Maurice Eddy, his side-to-side ability to just kind of get over screens and then go probe and create for a teammate. Both of those dudes are like, wow, I mean, these kids are going to be problems in San Antonio for a while to come, because both of them have the tools to be really impactful guards at this level.
So let's talk about some out-of-state prospects that impressed you guys.
Blue, take it away.
Christopher Morris, from Georgia with AJ Boye. Kind of looking at him at first, you go, okay, this guy must be a football player. I mean, he's got these broad shoulders. Everything he does, it seems like when he bounces that ball, it's like the floor, you can feel it moving. He's very aggressive from point A to point B. And no, he's a straight basketball guy. And he's getting to those areas of the court where he's getting off and elevating. And at his top, at his peak, he's letting the ball go. And sometimes defenders just don't have a chance because he's so strong and physical. He was able to bounce off of guys, and then when his teammates took a shot at the rim, he was there to go clean up with maybe a putback or get a rebound on the defensive end, start the transition. I was looking at him, and whenever I look at out-of-state guys, and maybe y'all do the same thing, it's like, where would this guy fit into our top 100?
Right.
And he was obviously no-brainer top 100, where he would be probably in the top 60 or 50 if he was here.
Yeah,
he had that type of game.
He was really good. I mean, I got two here, but first with Jalen Johnson from Sinlaw Dynasty, they won a championship, and his just rugged, physical brand of guard play just really just popped, because he was guarding 94 feet, and I mean guarding. He's not just up there giving token pressure. He's in these kids' shorts trying to figure out if he can force a turnover right under his own basket, basically. Was really impressed with how he defended, how he finished in transition. That entire team was just really tough, 1 through 5. Really liked what I saw. I hope we can get them back, because they're a fun group to watch.
Facts.
And then Jacoby Talon, the 2025 out of Anadarko, playing with Oklahoma Impact. This kid, it seems like every time I looked up, he was on the floor after a loose ball, seeking out contact, plays basketball like a football player almost, where he's just trying to find guys that he can just slam into and then still have the finesse to be able to finish through contact. Saw him go for 20 or so a couple times. Was really impressed with what I saw, just because of that physicality and that kind of chip on your shoulder edge that he played with was something that was really refreshing to me.
Yeah, and for me, that Jacksonville Trojans team was very intriguing. Had a lot of prospects on that team. Tyjon, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't want to put 6'7", his frame. He was able to use his shoulders well in the post. Finished high on the glass. You can tell he's very skilled inside. Another long athlete that runs the floor, and he got a lot of his in transition, and at least just commanded defenses to suck in to allow his shooters to shoot the ball. But a prospect that we looked into before they came to the GASO, and so I kind of saw the name floating around at some other events, and he definitely impressed me from the jump with that Jacksonville Trojans team, and we were very glad to have him at the GASO.
Yeah, so now we're going to open up to our favorite segment, GASO Gossip, and the one name that has been just blowing up this live period has been Nick Cody. I saw him during the season, was really great. Thought, okay, this kid's starting to build onto something, and now college coaches are seeing it too, because it seems like about everybody in the SEC and Big 12 has offered him this past week.
Yeah, the first time I remember seeing him was during his sophomore year against Hillcrest, and it was a district game. And those little things that he does, the things that he does now, seem very little and very simple, as far as the elbow shot, catch and shoot, being able to hit the three, get to the basket, dump the ball inside from the 15 to 17-foot area. But now, here we are going I don't know, about 18 months later. I mean, this guy is just, he's on fire.
Yes.
And what he has done is taken everything that we just mentioned, and he's just taken it to the next level of consistency. He's consistent. He's been waiting, and here he is, showing it off at one of the highest levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I'm looking at 2 of the 15U kids on the EYBL. Xavier Green, I mean, his name just continues to pop up on any first team 15U list you want to see right now. He's going crazy. So shout out to you, X. I know you're putting in the work. One of the guys that I see very often with Tyler Relf training. And then Trey Clark from San Antonio Wagner playing with Team Griffin. You know, the good thing that I've seen on this EYBL so far is some of these Texas prospects have matched up early on. And Trey had a really, really good game against Drive Nations 15s in that matchup. So the kid, Trey, I mean, another name that's blowing up, invited to all the USA stuff. It's a prospect to continue to monitor.
Yeah. Another kid on the offer trail, Aiden Richard out of San Antonio Reagan. Blue, I know that's your guy, but picking up 2 D1 offers after this weekend with Impact, really impressed with what we're hearing about him.
Well, I think this is where it goes to show you it takes time. You're not going to be a sophomore or freshman just racking up offers.
Yeah.
And so it just takes time. It takes the right moments, takes the right situation. I mean, I've sat up here and bragged about how great he is after watching him in San Antonio with Reagan and John Hurst, and just his ability to hit shots. You're a shot maker. You go rebound. Those 2 things go a long way.
And then 2 more on the offer train. Robert Miller recently.
All over everywhere.
And then Dorian Owechekwu.
Yeah.
Those are 2. Just like we said, this is a gossip segment. You know, those guys are blowing up. Looking at some other names here, King Grace just might be the dude right now on Under Armour.
He's blowing up.
I mean, might just be the best player in Under Armour right now on a consistent basis. Hasn't missed a shot all spring.
Mass isn't here. Mass isn't here, but he has been he's been holding to his word that King Grace will, by the time we're done with this, he'll be near the top, if not the top, of that 2025 class. We still a lot has to play out, but Mass has been all over that. And let me just say this about Robert Miller. I mean, he's one of our top 2024s, and now everybody's starting to see, hey, you can't just look at this guy and pass on him, because he's going to give you a little bit of something from the perimeter. He's going to give you something, obviously, a lot of juice on the inside off the block, rebounding, quick twitch, everything. I'm in awe of this kid. He's that good.
And then, watching, I got to watch some streams of that Drive Nation 16U team, and Jermaine O'Neal's kind of taking that alpha role for that squad. Yeah. And the 3-point shot is there, and it's ready to go. So he's extended his range already. We know how long of a lanky prospect he is, making plays on both sides. But he's just kind of taking that leadership role for that Drive Nation 16s. It's good to see. And then we'll finish it off. Montana Wheeler making big plays when it matters, huh?
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen the clip, I mean, it's been about everywhere. 3-quarter court shot to tie, and then obviously they go win in overtime with him playing up on the top Houston Defenders team. I mean, that kid's trajectory just continues to on the up and up, because he's just that kind of playmaker.
Facts.
So, thanks for tuning in. That's going to do it for this edition of the GASOcast, recapping the GASO Live Period 2, hitting on some big names from around the state. I'm GASO Lyndon, GASO Blue, I Film Hoopers. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.